The Kundalini awakening process is very deep, very powerful healing work that is done not only on the body, but on the soul. It is imperative that we put ourselves in a position in life that we can simplify, that we can be around people who lift us up and remind us of where we want to go and who we want to be. Because what will happen is, as you are healing and reviving and erasing and releasing and renewing yourself on levels that are extremely mysterious, you will find that what was once enough or what was once entertaining to you no longer is. You will find your interest changing, and you will start to notice that when you are around certain people, they bring your energy down, because the truth is, they do. We need to preserve our prana. The prana is the life force that the Kundalini energy sends up the spine to purify us. The prana is the life we get from the sun, from the food we eat. When we do spiritual practices, we are essentially increasing our prana. During the process of increasing our prana, we need to pay special attention on how much stability we have in our life, to our basic routine structure, and to our priorities on a daily basis. Our priorities say everything about where we are going. The true subtle signs of a genuine Kundalini awakening is that nothing in this world looks the same to you anymore, on the one hand. However, you don't know what that means on the other hand. We have moments of total experiences of unity, only to fall a few minutes later into utter despair because we're so confused about what is happening to us. It is imperative that we do a daily spiritual practice. There is no other way to transform these demons into the divine helpers of alchemy within ourselves and our astral body unless we do spiritual practices. The spiritual practices will transform how we are experiencing what we've inherited, because the truth is, these memories aren't just on our cellular level, deeply buried within our psyche and our bodies, but they come through us from the ancestors. We are the pure light of divinity. The only thing standing in our way are the memories that we can't forget, no matter if we can't even remember them consciously, because our body is holding on to everything. When we work through these blocks in the body, we work through the blocks in our life. And this is how the Kundalini rises, is that everywhere we look, God, the Divine Mother, is showing us who we are, is showing us what we need to do, is showing us where we need to go. It is very important that we raise our energy and keep raising our energy on a daily basis, because those memories that we are erasing and transforming are all down below the heart. And so when we do spiritual practices that bring us back to the heart, that bring us back to the third eye, that bring us back to the crown, we can then bring some balance to these feelings we may be having as the memories are released, feelings of anxiety, feelings of fear, feelings of depression, and bring us back to balancing it with the feelings of being blessed for the process, or the feeling of grace, or the feeling of union with God, or the tuning in to God, because what we really do when we do spiritual practices is that we are tuning in to what we want to have on our radio station for the day, which is we want to be in the divine current. We don't want to be in the lower current where we live in fear and power tripping and never enough and aversion and hope and just the swinging of the back and forth that causes so much human suffering. We want equanimity, we want trust, we want faith, we want joy, we want harmony. We want the ability to have a positive effect on those around us and on our life. And what is a positive effect? A positive effect is that we want our presence to be a transformative presence. We want our presence to be a healing vibration. And the only way our presence is a healing vibration is, are we working on ourselves? Are we holding things down? Are we in denial? Because it's also part of the process, but the time comes, the more we open up, the more clear we get. It might almost feel like there's even more than we ever could have imagined that we're dealing with, but that is only because of how powerful the energy of the Kundalini is to bring the light into the darkness. We, as a personality, are not real. We are much greater than our personality. We have this body to experience these memories, to create more memories, call it karma, and how those memories affect us, and what we've done and what we're doing about those memories, and how we hold on to things that hurt us for no reason at all except for fear. And the fear is what we're talking about. And so when the Kundalini energy is awakening and these memories are rising and we can't remember them, and we start to feel these feelings that sometimes these are blissful feelings of total union and divine blissful love, or sometimes these are very scary feelings that we don't even know why they're there, or we do know why they're there. But the real bottom line here is that the only way and the best way to deal with when uncomfortable feelings are coming up, feelings we need to get away from, we need to start paying attention to what we're trying to get away from. And we need to stop the story. We need to stop defining what the feeling is. I'm afraid, I'm anxious. And we need to move straight into our body without a judgment or a definition. But this is an experience. Anger. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter what happened. Doesn't matter if it's anger. It is a feeling. And when you feel what it is in your body, or fear, the churning, what is it? But it's not something we have to define because we're in our head. We just need to experience what we haven't experienced, because the ice is melting and the fire is transforming what has been holding us back and blocking us and keeping us stuck and not letting all the creativity flow. The feeling is what we're dealing with. So to be brave enough and not panic, to get away from ourselves and the feelings we're having. And it may have worked up until now, but if you are having a genuine Kundalini awakening, this is what will be happening in your life. And it is a great blessing, and it takes a long time to get to this place. So let us not waste the opportunity due to a false thing that we are in some danger of our own memories, in some danger of our own feelings, when we have to be with ourselves and work through these phantoms. And I know it's not easy, and I know how real it feels, but there really is no other way than to get real with who we are and what we're holding on to. We need to go around other people who lift us up into our heart. We need to be around spiritually uplifting people and in spiritually uplifting situations. There is no other way to make it through a Kundalini awakening and actually get some progress. So we need guidance. We need support. We need to simplify. We need to set our priorities and what we really want out of life, because there's so many things this world has to offer us on a material level, and there are so many things we can chase. But to come back to the center and to keep putting God and our soul first, and how valuable we are first. We're not someone who needs things to prove something. We are enough. But to feel enough is what I'm talking about. The awakening Kundalini will make you feel enough, because you will feel the union of yoga, which is, the truth is that we are the divine. But we can't just say it, we have to get there. And that is the path that we are on as spiritual warriors, as light workers. This is why we need to do things like go to India, to absorb the essence, to revive our soul, to feed our soul. Our soul starves when we don't feed it the spiritual light of God. Our soul starves when we don't chant, when we don't tune into the grace, when we put work first or relationships first or this or that first. Our soul starves. And who wants to get used to living with a starved soul? We want to be vibrant and alive, whatever it takes. And we need to do whatever it takes to put ourselves in the position so that we can do what we need to do to keep this energy rising and to get the support that we need. What I am telling you is that we have choices. And these choices are important. Every day we have a choice what we're going to eat, what we're going to look at, what we're going to listen to. And even if we are being subjected to something we don't want to listen to, we can still go to a place inside of ourselves, into the center, and have total composure and be in command of ourself. This is about having freedom of self. And who is the self? And how close can the self get to the divine self? I would like to invite you to the retreat we're doing here in the winter, because we're going to go deep within, deep meditation practices, deep pranayama practices, deep practices to get into our body and to give ourselves that freedom of movement to create, to express, to feel, to tune in, and to realize that there is nothing but the love of God. And when we don't feel that, this is because of those memories that we are carrying, that weigh us down, that age us, that make us feel depressed and sad or unworthy. And sometimes we have to revive old pains just because they're leaving us for good. But if we react in a way that strengthens rather than releases, we dig these ruts even deeper, which is something we probably don't want to do. So when we do the spiritual practices, and when we learn the spiritual practices, and when we befriend those unconscious forces, and when we change where we're coming from in our brains through the practices, we can relate to ourselves differently, raise our consciousness, stop identifying with the old patterns of the ancestors, and set ourselves free once and for all. Then everyone's life we touch around us will be triggered for that process in them. So what we become for ourselves, we allow others to become for themselves. So not only do we do what we do out of compassion for ourselves, but out of compassion for the unity of all of us, and for our deep sincerity to serve God in all that we see. I invite you here in December. I invite you to come to India with us. Go to my website if you're interested, the blog, the schedule, and you can contact me there for more information also.